Welcome to the Straight from the Source's Mouth podcast. Frank talk about sex and dating.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the episode. This episode's going to be a little different. Naomie is back, who was our dating coach a few episodes ago. She's going to be working with Debbie and potentially Carolyn, but it looks like Carolyn won't make it. So Debbie and Naomie are going to work together, and I'm going to let you take it from there, Naomie. Thanks for joining, both of you.
Thank you, Tamara. It's great to be here. And this is exciting because Debbie, I don't know you at all, and I'm really looking forward to hearing your questions and hearing, how things are for you in the whole world of dating and love right now.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Tell me, how are things for you right now?
Today I would say they're pretty good. Yesterday wasn't looking so good. It kind of depends on the day.
Yeah.
I still am getting a lot of people either canceling at the last minute or just totally not confirming plans. And that's so frustrating.
Yes. What is it that what's your dream, Debbie? What is it that you're really looking for in a relationship?
Companionship, consistency, honesty. Yes, the goal would eventually be marriage, but I'm not in any big hurry for that.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm looking for is an honest partner who's willing to do the little things in life, the simple things.
Yes. Well, I thought it'd be really useful if I just kind of ask you some of the questions I would ask one of my clients. And really, when I work, I dive a little deeper.
Perfect.
Just to really kind of find out, what it is you really, really want, what's important to you. And also we can look at whatever struggles you're having in dating. So many women are struggling with how to communicate their wants and needs and boundaries to men, how to go about even the whole dating process. So I can answer any of those questions for you. But I just wanted to say, if we could wave a magic wand and you had your perfect relationship in front of you right now, is happening right now, tell me what you see.
I see somebody that is patient, who is willing to try new things. And I'm not asking for somebody to jump off a building, but I'm talking about the little things like leave a note on your mirror. Valentine's Day is coming up and I'm having complete anxiety about that because I do have somebody that I quote date. And he's just, once again, no big deal. And so that's why I'm not in that relationship anymore as, a committed relationship, because I want to find somebody who's like, hey, in 2 weeks is Valentine's Day. Let's at least go out to dinner, and it doesn't have to be a lot of money.
Yeah. And it sounds like you're looking for someone who's kind, relationship oriented, ready for commitment. And what would it mean to you to have that?
Oh, it would mean everything. I know I have to find the special person, and I don't have any access to meet anybody out in quote the real world, really, unless it happens to be at Home Depot or something, and I'm not even in Home Depot.
Yeah.
So the internet is my main source of contact. And that's how I meet people. And I've met some really nice people. I met somebody about 6 weeks ago, and we weren't a romantic match, but we're good friends. He was looking for someone a lot more athletic than I am.
Yeah.
And he was honest about it, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
He didn't say, oh, you've got a few extra pounds or whatever. He just said, I'm looking for someone that's more athletic and really enjoys golf.
Yeah.
I'm on the other side of it.
Yeah. So what would you say has been your biggest stumbling block to attracting the kind of relationship you want?
They go all in, and then all of a sudden they start fading out.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing it. I'm trying to slow him down, saying, now you don't know, let's see, let's wait, let's get to know each other. And, I'll get 100 phone calls one day and then 50 the next, and then poof, they just disappear.
Yeah. Yeah. And how does that leave you feeling?
Like I did something wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see why you'd feel that. And have you ever had before the kind of relationship you're looking for?
Once.
Yeah.
And that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
If I haven't really talked to him on the phone, I've just, text messaged. I will reread the text to see if I can pinpoint something in there. And I really can't. Now, of course, you get the jerks that just want X-rated pictures or, that kind of thing. And I just don't even count them. I just say next and delete them because I don't have any patience for that.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So if we've waved this magic wand and in front of you, you've got this beautiful companionship, you share the simple things in life, there's honesty, patience, kindness, consideration. Tell me about the qualities that a guy would show.
I think the biggest one for me, like I said, is going the extra mile. Not just saying, oh, I've never done that before, and, sticking to his old ways of doing things. I'm very outdoorsy. I don't ski or do anything like that, but I like to, go four-wheeling. I like to go to the mountains. A man who would say, hey, let's just pick up sub sandwiches and head up there. It doesn't have to be pre-planned.
Yes.
And I'm not saying it's all about money, because it's not.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to do my share. I'm willing to surprise him just as much.
Yeah. But you want someone who's really ready for that. And
yeah.
Tell me about, I'd love to be able to see your dating profile, but tell me about some of the things you've written on your dating profile, and we can see whether or not we can tweak it and communicate you in a way that you really shine from it.
I should have copied it down, but I didn't. I know one of the things that it says is that I'm a country girl at heart, looking for someone who enjoys the simple things in life. And then it says something about, let's meet for iced tea or dinner just to say hi.
Great. What I would love for you to include in there, just say, I'm something like, I'm feeling. So I would love for you to put, I'm excited. I feel excited to meet a kind, loving man to share my life with.
I'm going to jot this down real quick. And that's, what I'm looking for. And, I do have horses, and I don't have him with me right now. He's in California competing. But, I like the country music. I like, I don't wear boots. I mean, I wear boots, but I don't wear the whole big belt buckle and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm kind of more conservative. So I'm pretty adaptable.
Yeah.
I'm not the black cocktail kind of girl.
We want to for you to give off the kind of vibe, a real relationship vibe, so that you can start attracting guys who are more relationship minded. Now, some guys don't read the profiles. They'll just like the look of your picture, and then so they'll swipe right. But some guys, especially ones who are more relationship oriented, are going to read what's in the profile. My partner still will say, well, you wrote on your profile this, and this, that you really love this, if he surprises me with something. So he will remember that, because that's what he was looking for. So tell me, when you start messaging with a guy, the first messages when you've matched, tell me about how it normally goes.
Well, I have a saying that I put up first to kind of feel him out. and they say, "Hi, how about meeting for Mexican food and a margarita?"
Oh, that's nice. That's lovely. And there's something about, especially the kind of guy you're looking for, there's something about letting a guy pursue you. I'm quite old-fashioned when it comes to dating, and the whole idea of courting is so gorgeous and so wonderful to men and women. And the old-fashioned courting where a guy can court you. And for me, what happens is, as women, when we are the ones who are taking the lead in the whole dating process, often we'll attract guys who are waiting for us to do that. And these might be guys who aren't motivated to move things forward. These might be guys who maybe aren't as relationship oriented, or they are putting in far less effort. You really want a guy to show his effort towards you. So this is a great way to eliminate guys who are maybe more passive, who are waiting for a strong woman to lead the whole relationship. But with a guy like that, you're never going to really know if he's into you. So would it help you if I gave you some tips on how to open up the messaging, how to start the messaging?
Definitely.
Okay. So I know on Bumble, I don't know if you are on Bumble, but often a woman.
I tried it and I wasn't impressed.
You weren't impressed with Bumble. Okay. So
no, it was not.
So if you match with a guy, you've been swiping and you match with him, then you could just say something like, "Hey, it feels really good to match with you." Expressing your feelings is very feminine. It's very feminine, and a masculine energy guy, meaning a guy who loves to lead a relationship, a guy who has an energy of, he wants to make his woman happy. He's got a provider energy. Even if he doesn't provide financially for you, he's got that energy of wanting to give to you to make you feel happy. And he'll want to lead the dating process and the romance that comes with it. So he is going to want to take the lead. So as women, it's really great for us to be receptive and to invite him. So what we don't want to do is say, "Hey, should we meet for coffee?" What you could do is just look at his profile, see if there's something you like about it, and say, "Hi, I just had the biggest smile when I saw a photo of you with your horses. So did you notice what I was doing?" Rather than saying, "Oh, shall we meet for Mexican food?" Versus what I said. Could you feel the difference there?
Right. It was kind of opening up for him to feel good too.
Yeah. So what I was saying was opening up. So what happens is there are 3 wrong paths to love and 1 path that gets there every time. And the 3 wrong paths to love are the mind, the body, and the spirit. Now, the mind, the body, and the spirit can definitely be part of a beautiful relationship. But the mind is where our intellect connects with his intellect. But at best, you're going to have a great friend or a good business partner. Body, sexual connection, sexual chemistry. Again, that's a wonderful part of a relationship, but it will not create love on its own. And the spirit is the spiritual connection, which, yes, you can have a great spiritual friend and someone you pray with or meditate with. But the real way to have a heart-to-heart, loving, fall in love with you forever kind of connection is creating an emotional connection. And the route to that emotional connection is often the woman creates that with, got a little fly here. Often the woman creates that with her feelings and how vulnerable and open she's willing to be with her feelings. So telling a man how you feel about things, just saying, "I felt so happy when I saw that picture of you." Or so telling a man how he impacts you is going to make him feel good.
Okay.
Yeah?
Definitely. I have been talking to someone that I'm supposed to meet tonight. And I've been talking to him for about a month, and he's in school too.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had plans for the next, up until now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very excited, but he's very, where would you like to go? What would you like to do? And I did say that. I said, all I want to do is get to know you better.
Okay,
And
great.
I'm open to a lot of different things.
Great. So how about you say to him, I mean, are you still in this conversation about what do you want to do? Where do you want to go?
Yes.
Yes.
He's going to call me this afternoon.
So you can say to him, that's so considerate asking me. And I love surprises. And if he's talking about food, you can say, well, I absolutely love Mexican and I love Italian. Surprise me. So that's very different than saying, oh, I know a great Italian restaurant around the corner. Why don't we go there? Because what that's doing is taking the masculine lead rather than allowing him. We want to give men opportunities to surprise and delight us. And so
I may have already messed that up. I did look up, he lives about 20 minutes from here.
Mm-hmm.
And I did look something up online, and they have what they call a Western room, and he's never been there.
Yeah.
It's like a meet-up dinner house.
Yeah.
Where it said it was quiet enough to talk, blazing fires, that kind of thing. It's not a bar, but kind of along the same ideas. I'm not much of a drinker, so sometimes that poses a problem. Mm-hmm. It's not because I've ever had a problem drinking. It's just not my big thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And if that's important to you, you stick with that no matter what anybody else, whatever any man does. So you've not messed anything up. You've not messed anything up at all. And what you can do when he calls is say, well, this place makes me feel really relaxed. And also I'm open to your suggestions. What do you think?
Neither one of us have ever been to this place.
Yeah.
So that's what I caught was kind of fun too, is that it's not somewhere that either one of us have already tried.
Yes. Okay, I've got it. So you can say, wow, well, how did you feel when you saw this place with the blazing fires and the cozy and nice, quiet that you could speak?
When I saw the pictures, I thought, wow, that really looks like me, somewhere I'd like to go.
Yes. Okay, just say I felt really intrigued by this place. But at the same time, I love surprises. So as long as we get to meet, I'm happy. What do you think?
And that's pretty much along the lines of what I said, because I actually approached him first. Should I say where I met him?
Yeah.
It was on Plenty of Fish, and I sent him a message first, and he answered me back, and he just said, sounds great, and we've been talking back and forth since.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I met my partner on Plenty of Fish. It's great. There's so many people there.
There's two sorts. Those are the ones you want to get to know or ones that weed themselves out quick.
And that's what we want. We want the guys to weed themselves out quick. So what you can do, so you approached him first and you've suggested the place. There is nothing wrong with that. But what we want to do from now on is we want to let him court you. So if he says, well, hey, Debbie, I've had a great date. Can we meet again? So you would then tell him how you feel about meeting him again. That would feel great. That would feel lovely. I felt really relaxed with you. And then if he says to you, well, what were you thinking, Debbie? Where do you want to go? You can say, surprise me.
Okay.
Say, surprise me. I trust you to find somewhere nice.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. And, that's kind of where our conversation has gone. He seems to be definitely, and I have let him basically call the shots of sending me messages first.
Right.
I was kind of teasing him because he said he hesitated to call because he was a little shy. And then he did call with the excuse of, I have to run into the store, but he was still sitting in his car talking to me. And he's like, I really need to get in there. But then he would say something else.
Yeah.
So it's like we had a lot in common. And he does, even when he's in school, sends me messages. And I've inquired about what he's going to school for. And, the conversation seems to flow.
That is wonderful. So you're going to look out for the green flags there. And the green flags are his energy is coming towards you. He's messaging you. He's following up. He's interested. He's asking questions. He's making the effort to make time for you. Even when he feels shy and embarrassed, he's actually still picking up the phone. So he's actually working. He's working a bit harder, and men really value what they work for. So that is wonderful. We don't want to be meeting guys who are slick on the dating sites, because if they're really slick on the dating sites, they've probably been on a lot of dates with a lot of people. And actually, it's wonderful to meet a guy who's a little bit clunky on the dating sites, because, he's just really real and genuine. Debbie, you asked about these hot and cold guys. So guys who would be sending you 100 messages and then suddenly, poof, they've disappeared.
Right.
Yes. And
I just don't understand, because, like I said, I've gone back through and read my texts, and it's like, did I say anything? And it's like, no. It's almost as if you kind of try and pinpoint them down, or, well, when would you like to meet? But some of them I haven't even asked that.
yeah,
I had one that I was talking to the last few days up until yesterday, and we were supposed to go out last night. And I mean, unreal how many times he had called and messaged, and then just nothing.
yeah.
And we had already set a time and a place, and so I sent one message saying, are we still on for tonight?
And then did you hear nothing?
Nothing.
Okay. So what happens here is we start wondering, we go up in our heads and start thinking, what did I do wrong? And the truth is, the whole world of online dating is full of people who are wounded from past relationships. They've been burnt. They may be wounded from childhood, as so many of us are. And those wounds come out in different ways. And some men and some women, but particularly many men, become quite fiercely independent. Some people call it more avoidant attachment style, but very fiercely independent, in that they will maybe want to jump in really fast and message and do all the kind of getting to know you quick over messaging. But then actually they may well have a very low tolerance for intimacy and for the kind of relationship that you're looking for. So if we can just see it in a very matter-of-fact way, you're not doing anything wrong. There isn't a one particular series of steps that means that you are going to either be doing it right or doing it wrong. But you and what you're looking for, somebody else may not be ready for. And if they're not ready for that, then they are going to cut and run. And some people don't have the emotional maturity to actually just pick up the phone and have that difficult conversation or send the message. It's easier for them just to drop off. But what that shows, and the red flag that's waving there, is emotional immaturity. And you're looking for this honest, patient, kind, loving man to be your life partner and future husband. And someone who's emotionally immature is not showing good partnership potential.
Very true.
Yeah. And they also say rejection is God's protection. And I believe that if someone...
My friend and I, that we've stayed friends, he and I joke about dodging a bullet.
Yeah. Yes. And that's why I always say to my women that I work with, And it works so it just works so well for them. They go right through, the women I work with go right through from dating right through to marriage. And they are in relationships that are completely different from any they've ever had, because I say to them, in the very beginning, the only effort you're putting in is being warm and receptive and open. I don't want you jumping in, planning the dates, organizing, because what happens is when we do that, we can be putting in so much effort that we're blind to the lack of effort that a man is putting in. And because I said men really value what they work for, a man will really feel good when he's working hard to make his woman happy. Now, of course, we're going to give, but actually, can I share with you a dating story that's going to really illustrate this?
I'd love that.
Yeah, so I went on a date with a guy, and we were just walking to the restaurant, and we were talking about food. And I said to him, oh, is food the way to your heart then? And he said, well, not really, he said, but I did have this girlfriend, and she was a great cook. She'd cook me lovely food. And then he said, the relationship should have ended far earlier, but she was such a good cook and we had great sex. So, it was worth sticking around for. And in that moment, I just went, exactly. This is what I teach my clients. You have to see the man's effort coming towards you, because otherwise you can compensate. And so often as women, we are so giving and so nurturing that we will compensate for a man's lack of effort. And then we don't get to see that actually maybe he's actually not that into you. And some women are with guys like that for years. So
yes,
this guy dropping off yesterday, it's like we can celebrate. He's disqualified himself from being your man.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's very helpful, because that is exactly the scenario that I can see. Now, I am very, very cautious in dating. I would not walk to a restaurant with a man I didn't know. I prefer to meet them in the restaurant.
Yeah.
I would not invite somebody to my home, obviously, that I didn't know. I read these stories about people who met at the restaurant and then they went somewhere else. I'm not getting in some stranger's car. I
Absolutely.
watch Dateline. The most important thing to me is safety.
I'm so glad you're taking good care of yourself. And that also goes, look back, Debbie, at the clues of when you are dating someone who's a bit hot and cold. Like, look back at the clues very, very, very early on, their inconsistent messaging, or you're feeling a bit unsure with them. And those clues can be your allies. So you can actually look, if it doesn't work out with this guy tonight, you can actually really get clues early on and put minimal effort in with guys who are kind of hot and cold. And if you're going to meet a guy, a wonderful thing to say to him when you've arranged the time and date, just say, it really makes me feel comfortable having confirmation of the date the evening before. Is that something you're happy to do? Because then
and that would just show consideration.
Yeah. And then what you're saying, what you're getting is two things. One is he knows that you are somebody quality, high value woman who actually needs communication. And you are also knowing that if he doesn't contact you the day before, likelihood is you just make other plans for the next day. Just make other plans. And if he calls you an hour before the date and said, hey, are we still on? You can say, oh my goodness, I'm so disappointed. I've made other plans when I didn't hear from you, but I'm free on Thursday. Do you see? You're not left waiting for somebody.
That kind of reminds me of that book, The Rules, I read 20 years ago. It made a lot of sense. Some of it was a bit over the top, but about not being available at the last minute and, that kind of thing. Absolutely. And I am not in a huge hurry to jump into a physical relationship, because it seems like that happens far too often. And then you realize that you don't have anything common.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I mean, Debbie, you to me seem like a woman who really knows what she wants. You're open, you're ready for a relationship, you've got a lot to offer. And I think it's just going to be little tweaks in the clues, the red flags and the green flags that you're seeing. And also remembering it's not personal. You will either fit with you'll either align with a guy who's looking for what you're looking for and is really drawn to you, or you won't. And also something I would just love, I believe very strongly is that you can't do the wrong thing with the right man. And the right man for you is going to do whatever he can to stay in your life. He is not going to drop out of your life.
Very good words of wisdom. I'm writing that down.
Yeah.
That has been very helpful.
I'm really pleased, Debbie. I'm excited for you with your date tonight. I hope it goes well. Please let me know.
Thank you. I'm excited too. There's something about this guy that makes me feel like he's a lot more open. He's a lot more hoping to see if he could find a companion.
Great. Yeah, the way you're speaking about him feels like that as well. So all you need to do is just see if there's a connection between you both that could very slowly grow.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Debbie, it's my pleasure. So lovely to meet you. And as I said, please let me know. Please let Tamara know how it goes, and I'd love to hear.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys both. That was awesome. I wrote down all the 3 wrong paths and the emotional connection, and great advice for Debbie. So thank you very much for being on, both of you. And if you love this episode, be sure to tell your friends about it. Thank you very much again for being on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Frank Talk, sex and dating educates.